Hello everyone, this is Terry with Futures.io, and it's my pleasure to welcome Mario Ranholm of RandBots for today's webinar, Auto Trading Bots to Diversify Your Trading. If you have a question during the webinar, please feel free to type your questions into the question box and we'll do our best to answer them at the end of the event. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, please do us a favor and give us a thumbs up if you enjoy the webinar. And as always, please feel free to share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us a lot. For trading news, events, and information, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter using @Futures.io. And now, without further delay, I will hand it over to Mario. You'll get the pop-up again to share your screen.
Screen share. Yes.
Okay, looking good.
Great. So just a double check. Everyone can hear me, right?
Yep, loud and clear.
Yes. Great. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I've been trading for 15 years. And in the last year, I made public some of the strategies I trade at RandBots. So today I want to introduce to all of you what's part of my work and also a platform that I use to auto trade strategies. So let me start. The first and most important are the disclaimers. I mean, as you all know, futures and options has large potential reward as well as potential risks. When I started, these two websites helped me quite a bit. Let me show you. The first one is from the US Future Trading Commission. And the second one is from the government to list different type of frauds. So this is how I learned. I mean, if you had been trading for many years, you can see some of the frauds. So for me, being 15 years in the market, I read this website and I think it's very important for all of you to follow and take a look. For all my companies and my work, this is regarding testimonials. There is not compensation paid in exchange of testimonials, and testimonial might not be relevant to or necessarily indicative to future performance of success. So this is as well important. And before we start, I want to thank Mike and the community of Futures.io because it has saved me hours of research and a lot of time. I mean, I had found many tools, and especially in the comments of the members, they had helped me for many years, and I still use it. And until today, I find the webinars very, very interesting. So let me tell you a bit of myself and how I started. This is me. This is a picture of me about 2 years ago. And I started trading in 1999. The first company I purchased was TEF. This is Telefónica. It was a Spanish company. It's a large Spanish company. And then I was lucky enough to study in New York. So my first trade in the New York Stock Exchange during university was around 2003, 2004. And then I took my first steps into trading options and stocks during university. What I did or how I started is I used to risk the next semester tuition on stock market. So yes, it was high risk, high reward, like trading. A little bit about myself. At the moment, I manage investments for corporations and families. These families are mainly in North America and Europe, and in Latin America. Okay, I did an MBA in in IE Business School. This is in Madrid, and I am originally from Spain. One of my biggest portfolios was in BBVA. This is a Spanish bank where we were about 20 people trading hedge funds and hedge fund investment strategies with an AUM, asset under management, of about $1.2 billion. After that, I worked for a family office, and now I manage and run RandBots. This picture in front of you, it's Medallion. It's the fund Medallion. And after reviewing this data, let me show you. I was hooked into the market. So this fund started in 1987 to publish the results, and from then on only had a negative year. So this is what I mean. Okay, if you need to learn, if you need to study someone, I decided early on my career to learn from the best. I was reading during 5 years about trading strategies, and I tested many strategies. I traded about 200 different strategies that was not built under my psychology or under my methods. And I reviewed for 10 years, in 10 years, more than 2,000 strategies. Okay, the first strategy or the one that I feel comfortable to trade with large size is our option. Our option is my bread and butter, and we can go over the strategy in a little bit. Why I created RandBots? One of the reasons is because I want to give back to those that have helped me, and sharing results can also improve my risk management, and of course to grow the business as well. So if you have time, there is a nice article on Bloomberg about Medallion fund. Here is the link. It's really impressive returns. Yes, I read about myself. I read about great strategies, and I read as well about other people's mistakes a lot during 5 years. But then I realized that the only way for me to learn, specifically for me to learn, is to do it myself. I mean, trading, it's a self-discovery process that has taken me like over 7 years to be consistent and profitable. So, of course, what happened? I mean, most of us, we have tried trading strategies that we find online, and this is very frustrating, time-consuming, and very expensive. I was tired of those strategies and those gurus saying that you can make money trading their strategies. I went through that, and I worked around that, and that's one of the reasons why I created RandBots. And RandBots today can diversify your trading and increase your confidence. I mean, like I said before, RandBots' goal is to give back to those, I mean, the same way that those people that helped me years ago. Today, we trade at various brokers and at various time frames. So at the moment, let's say for the year, my return, this is the breakdown of the returns, of my personal returns. 37% come from options, 16% come from FX, 23% come from futures, and 18% comes from equity strategies. And in the strategies that we'll describe, we have daily strategies, weekly strategies, monthly strategies. And of course, what I do is I do a mix of multiple strategies, And that's how I manage the large portfolios. Why was RandBot created? And the reasons is because I wanted to solve problems that I encounter. So I created RandBot with the following in mind. Okay, so I said, okay, there are people that offer systems that you need to download, you need to install, you need to monitor strategies, and you need to worry about systems and updates. So at RandBot, we have a web-based management system. So you don't have to run software on your computer, right? I was also, when trying different strategies, they always ask you to buy new data or new servers or charting softwares or indicators or move to another broker. So what we do is we have our own servers and we trade at multiple brokers. We'll see that later, at which broker can you trade the RandBots. Also, something very important for me was to take trading decisions. I mean, the great aspects of doing automatic trading is that the decisions are almost done for you. Once you connect to the server, I mean, the server or the system will decide when to buy and when to sell. Of course, you can always override that or stop the system, but you minimize the emotional aspect of trading. And that for me make a big difference about 10 years ago. So we can automate the investment process for you. Also, it was very frustrating for me to buy unproven strategies, to read around websites that say, yeah, we had a 5% risk reward ratio, or we had 70% winners. And I downloaded their Excel, they sent me the Excel, and as soon as I started follow third-party strategies, I mean, those results were not much. So RandBots avoid those. I mean, all the strategies, all those things, all the strategies that listed the RandBots, they trade our capital. So we take very good care that the performance match the accounts and that the strategists and traders are able to follow. And of course, I mean, after you go online and you see all those strategies, you find unreliable and you find gurus online. So what RandBots propose is a platform to professionally diversify your capital. So RandBots is for committed traders. I mean, like I said before, this is a self-discovering endeavor. I mean, we believe that as a trader, you always risk capital. You must understand that past performance is at risk. Okay. No, and nobody, no system, not guru, not management, nobody can take the P&L responsibility from the trader or from the manager. So this is important for me that you all understand that if you are committed to trade, you need to learn from your mistake. This is what made me the trader I am today. I mean, it had helped me to be, it's the constant process of learning. And there are two ways to trade the RandBots. You can do a manual trading, right? And you could do auto trading. So for manual trading, you would need a broker account and a credit card, and then you subscribe to RandBots and you can follow strategies there. For auto trading, we need to connect your account, your broker account, with the agreement to RandBots. That way we could execute trades on your account. And for corporations, it's a similar story. So it's the same papers, but the account structure of the corporation is a bit different. But we can work with both individuals and corporations, manual or auto trading strategies. So let me tell you a little bit about the products of what we do. like the track record here is for our option. We can see here, let me load the website. So this is one of the most popular strategies, right? It's our option, and the P&L, it's here. This was updated to October the 8th. So there are people that follow the strategy on a manual basis. So they receive the alert and they place the trades, or they auto configure the bot to execute trades. This strategy, as you can see, it has a lot of volatility. I mean, you can see the returns in historical return, and this year, based on the VIX, the volatility has decreased in the market and the performance of the strategy as well. But the statistics show that there is a 5.6 ratio profit factor, that there had been 300 trades, right? We had an 87% of those trades were positive. Of course, the only way that I know to be able to get that ratio between positive and negative trades is with derivatives. I mean, this trading strategy trades derivatives, and if you go here, you can view trade by trade all the trades that this strategy executed. And if you click here, you can download the entire history of all the trades from the strategy. RandBots, it's easy. I mean, there is a fixed cost, a monthly cost to rent or to lease the strategy. And there is a simple cancel anytime policy. No question asked. We understand that how complex is trading and how difficult is to trade. So we don't like bureaucracy. It's a simple monthly cost and cancel anytime policy. If you go to the website, this is the main site. There is three key buttons I want to highlight. The first one is the sign up button. The second one is the find strategy page. This is a link for a list of strategies, and you need to understand that the strategies listed on that site, there are strategies that I use to manage capital for myself and for families and different corporations around the world. We connect RandBots. If you go manually, if you decided to trade manually, you can use whatever broker you want. If we trade automatically, we have the APIs connected to the main brokers in USA. So we can connect to Interactive Brokers, Option House, Gain, TradeKing, AMP, Daniel's Trading, FXCM, or NinjaTrader. If we click on the button Find Strategy, we can get to this leaderboard. The leaderboard is a list of strategies sorted by historical performance. Okay. In the leaderboard, we can see the name of the strategy, the product that it trades. Let's say swing futures, like the name says, it will trade futures. R option, normally it trades options. B futures as well, it trades futures. Bots Forex, trade Forex, and so on. Here we have one for equity and another one for the VIX. The second one, the second column, and it's very important, is the starting unit size. You need to understand that the strategy does not know how large your account is. So you need to tell the strategy how large your account is. That way it can allocate certain capital from the strategy to trade your account. And this is important because some of the strategies require more capital than others. For example, equity and Forex require less capital than some of the strategies that trade options or trade futures. And this is based on, one, the strategy setup, and two, the leverage allowed by the broker. So for example, some brokers require at least 110,000 to be able to have a portfolio margin account. So if this strategy is set up to utilize a portfolio margin account, and you do not have a portfolio margin account, it's not recommended to trade this strategy into your account. Here we have the profit factor in the third column, and the historical drawdown. As you can see, some of the drawdowns are not small. Our option shows a drawdown of 40%. V futures shows a drawdown of 18.3%. Forex shows a drawdown of 30%. And the last column shows the cumulative return for the strategy. And sorry, here is the cumulative return, and this is the annual return. So, and here, once the strategy has more than 1 year, more than 365 days of history, it shows the annual return. This strategy does not have yet, or actually, next month we'll have a year, so it will change to annual return here. So from this link next to the name, you can visit each page for each strategy. And below the name of the strategy, you can see the cost of the strategy. The cost is the same if you manually trade or if you auto trade. Okay, if you decide to trade manually, is the same cost that if you decide to trade with the bot. So this is important. There is no hidden fees, nothing. This is the price per month for a strategy, and every time the strategy trades, you get an email, or you get an execution in your account. Let's say, so if we click in this link, we'll go to a specific strategy page. This would be our option mini. Our option mini started in February this year. This data shows historical data since to October 8th. And here we can see the date when the strategy started. Second, the total trades that it did 65 trades. In the third button, we have a link to subscribe, right, to access the real-time trades. And here we have the monthly performance, and this performance includes the system fees. For example, for this strategy is $169 a month, plus interactive brokers commissions and fees. Once you subscribe, this is the picture you'll see once before you subscribe. Once you subscribe to the strategy, you will see a link here or a drop-down menu with open positions. Here you can see the open positions, the current open position from the strategy, and if you click in the button, in this button, you will see the order history. One of the features, the most used features, is to show auto trade data. So we like transparency, and our clients love total transparency. So what we have done is, with this button, we show, let me bring the strategy here. So with that button, right, show auto trade history, you have transparency on the trades the strategy has taken and in which broker it has traded for the clients that decided to automatically trade. Let's say for this strategy, for example, this trade, right? If you go here, show auto trade data, so, and you click in this little icon, you have, let me make it a little bigger. You have the broker that's the bot is connected to per client, the time, right? And more important, the price and the field quantity. For example, this client decided to trade one contract, and this client decided to trade 19 contracts, and this one decided to trade 10 contracts, etc., etc. So this you can access from here, showed auto trade data. The fourth window, it shows the time, the entry, the symbol, the description of the products, the side, so if we go long or short, the quantity, and then different details from the trade. As well as when the trade is closed, we showed the P&L here. If you decide and subscribe to any of the strategies, you have to configure the bot to your own parameter and your account size. You will do that under the control panel. In the control panel, you will see the strategy that you purchase with two buttons on top. To unsubscribe, this automatically will unsubscribe you from the strategy, or you can choose to unsubscribe when the subscription expires, the next billing cycle, or to modify auto trade. When you click out modify auto trade, you will be prompted with various with this screen. In this screen, you'll select which products, or you will see which products the strategy trades, right? For example, this is for stocks. You can allocate a max trade size, and this is the scaling of the system. In the scaling is very important because this will tell the bot how large or how small your account is based on the system you are trading. So let me give you an example. So let me close this. So we go here, find a strategy, and we go, for example, to our option mini. Our option mini at the moment is managing 78,000. So the account for the model is 78,000. So if you decide, if you put here 100%, that means your account, the model or the bot will trade an account of 78,000, right? Because the model at the moment has 78,000. If your account is double of this, let's say 150, right? You can choose to trade at 200% the model of the strategy. Okay, if we choose another strategy, let's say, for example, our option at the moment is trading $1.9 million. So if you decide to trade our option at 100%, it would mean that your account has one, or that the bot is going to place trades in your account thinking that your account is $1.9 million. So if your account is, let's say, 1/4 of this, right? 1/4 of $2 million, you would put here in the scaling a quarter. And that will tell the bot to trade the trade size to trade only 1/4 of the model account. The next window, the next button is to set a stop loss per trade if you wish. And then you have the configurations of the AutoTrader. For example, this account is synced with Interactive Brokers with a direct connection through the API. And you would put here the account number and then set up AutoTrading. If you want to stop the AutoTrader, this is the button where you could stop the AutoTrader. Go to Control Panel and stop the AutoTrader here. So for me it was a big difference when I started trading manually, when I started trading automatically versus a discretionary trader. I started as a professional working for various trading firms as a discretionary trader. And then it took me a year or so to realize that emotions are very important in the market. So I moved most of my trading systems or most of my strategies to automatic systems. And that had helped me because at the moment, I am not afraid to buy the top or to short the bottom because I know the probabilities based on historical data of how much can I lose or how much I'm risking buying this top or how much I'm risking shorting the bottom. And the other thing that manual trading created for me was the manual trading. One of the deficiencies that manual trading has is discipline. It's hard to be disciplined all the time if you are not following a system. So with auto trading, you have a system that you know or you have the history to support how much you're risking per trade and what is your win-loss expectancy ratio. Apart from this, RandBots can also help you diversify. I am using myself the strategies at RandBots to diversify capital. So I'm thinking that it could be a very, very beneficial for subscribers to combine the auto trading with their own discretional trading, because it had helped me in the past. What it was the key for me was the combination of auto trading strategies and behavioral finance. This will allow you to become a consistent trader. RandBots helped most of the traders to minimize emotional mistakes, and seeing how other people's strategies, trades, create a new set of skills that helps traders very much. I mean, based on observations during my years of trading, I realized that 60% of the traders that are positive and consistent do not have the ability to backtest their strategies. They are profitable and they're inconsistent, but their strategy is not automatic. They don't have a backtest on their strategy. Most of those traders that are positive, that are consistent and profitable, is because they have a trading strategy that match their personality. And that helped me. When I created the R option, helped me greatly because I knew I wanted a system that is consistent with a high win ratio, and of course, meaning that when you have a very consistent system, it doesn't mean it's not risky. It means it's only consistent, but you need to be ready and understand in which environment the system might not work. And this is when market psychology had helped me very much. The combination with the auto trading systems, with market psychology or behavioral finance, had helped me create and be a profitable trader for the last decade. What I can say is that a proven methodology with self-discipline in time and capital management, self-discipline in concentration, and learning from errors. It's something that is very complex to continue years after years. But that ability to control emotions, it will be key. It would be key to be a consistent trader. So this is a summary of what manual trading and auto trading did for me. As soon as I started auto traded, my performance increased, my risk levels decreased, and my confidence increased. And as you know, if you had been trading for more than 2 or 3 years, emotional trading is very hard to achieve. It's very easy to commit mistakes or not to enter a trade after you have 2 or 3 losers in a row. However, for the system, it's much easier, and always consider probabilities. This is one of the latest slides, so we're close to the end. And what I want to tell to all of you is that this is a marathon. I mean, trading is a marathon until your last trade. I have met many traders during the last 10 years or so, many traders. And most of the traders that have great performance, they are very humble. They understand that one single large trade can ruin the work for the last few months. So they are very cautious on their system, and they diversify their portfolios. I think that RandBots is a great way to diversify your portfolio with the strategies that other professionals are already trading. If you have been trading only for a couple years, it's easy to give up, to quit in the initial years of pain. I remember, when I started trading, it was very hard for me the first 2 or 3 years. I could not find consistency. I could not find the right mentors, and I could not find a trading system that matched my personality. And that was the key for me. But trading systems helped me to relieve some of that stress and had helped me to believe in myself. So based on my experience, I think trading third-party systems that you know that have worked and are working for other traders around the world can help you in your trading. And something important to remember as well is that it is impossible in this business to win without failing first. It is necessary for all of us, to learn or to create the necessary experience to be a good trader. I mean, you need to understand that mistakes are part of trading. Solving those mistakes and meditating on those will help you avoid future losses. I mean, I remember reading that comment from Ray Dalio, and he said it better than me. He's meditating on those mistakes. It will help you analyze or avoid future mistakes, and that's key in this business. This is very important. As well, you understand that you can make it on your own, of course, but you need to connect. You need to do the work to connect what you want with what you must do. You need to connect that, what you want and what you must do to achieve those results that you deserve. I mean, until I realized that, it was very hard for me to know or to understand that if I wanted to make 20 or 30% a year, how much I had to risk, how much capital I had to risk to be able to achieve a 20 or 30% a year. So for me, it was a key to understand what I want and what I must do to achieve those results. Of course, nobody can guarantee the future. However, I believe that diversifying your capital can help you minimize risk. RandBots at the moment has public strategies. At the moment is trading capital for corporations and for our own, as well as for other individual clients. We can send the signal to your broker so you don't have to change your workflow. You have full transparency of what the strategy is buying and selling in your broker account. And we have a flat pricing month to month. I mean, in my company, we are traders. I mean, so most likely if we talk, we have many things in common. And those good practices are always good to share with other great traders. And this is the last slide. Okay, I created a group on Skype. You can look for RandBots on Skype, and I'm going to share our future, right? Trading records and live trading on Skype to this group, right? So our future, let me show you. Our future is a strategy, a manual trading strategy that I use, and I'm working on it. And the cost is $99, right? I will broadcast live these trades, and I will be in a chat room over Skype. And for first subscribers, the cost will be $35 for the first month. The coupon code is this code. So instead of paying the $99 for the strategy, you will receive the trades I do on the strategy for $35 the first month. And you'll have access, or we can create a group in Skype, and of course use the Ask Me Anything thread on Futures.io, and we can start a relationship through Skype, and I will share my screens and you will see my charts on the screen trading our future. Again, our future is a strategy, a manual strategy where I trade NASDAQ intraday. So normally I do between 1 to 10 trades a day, and there we can start, or you can experience with very little risk, right? Your risk is 35. If you see $35 the first month, if you see what you like, you can understand the process with other strategies, and or if you enjoy being in the room, we can talk about a continuation of the program over Skype for the first month. So now, Terry, I reached the end of the presentation.
Okay. Hi guys, you can go ahead and start typing your questions in, and I will ask them to Mario. Let's see. Okay, he says, I'm a little confused. Do I need to open an account with one of the brokers and give you discretion of that account and tell you which method I want you to use?
Great question. If you don't have a brokerage account and you want to trade, yes, you need a brokerage account. The brokers I have the API connected to are these brokers. I don't have any preference, or I don't want to mention like any names, but most of my clients, right, and my capital is here with Interactive Brokers. I do not get any compensation or any kickback from any of the brokers, but I like to say that most of my clients and most of my capital is with Interactive Brokers. However, I know there are great brokers here and I can connect to any of these. Okay. You do not have to give me discretion on your account. What you do is you lease the software, right? And you will introduce your account number on the website. Once you signed, for example, the Interactive Broker disclaimer to allow the bot to trade into your account, Interactive Brokers will give me the okay, and you will be connected to the bot. So once the auto trader trades on the server, Interactive Brokers will receive the trading in your account. If you need to stop the auto trader, you go on the website and you click the button stop auto trading. That would be, let me see, it would be this button here, stop auto trading. Is that clear?
Yes.
Great.
Okay, let's see. Can I trade with $10,000?
Yes, you can. But you need to take into consideration various things. First, with $10,000, you need to make enough money to pay the monthly cost of the strategy. There are not many strategies that could consistently, with a $10,000 account, trade or make enough to cover that cost. And also, you need to take into account that some of the strategies, based on the products they trade, they need more funds to be able to trade. For example, few options, if you're doing our option mini, you're selling naked puts, and brokers will not allow you to give you such margin on the account with a $10,000 account. One of the things you can do is you could set, if you have a larger account, let's say like $200,000, you could set the robot to trade only $10,000 of your account. But based on different strategies, they require different starting size. And here on this column, you have a good approximation of how much capital they need. For example, equity needs little, or FX needs little. However, futures, some of the future strategies trade much larger size. Or this one for options, it trades large contracts. So this is something I can help you one by one, in one-on-one, which a strategy would allow $10,000. But mostly these two, the one that trades stocks and the one that trade the equity. There are both of them have lower risk. You can see the largest drawdown of bots equity is 16%, and the largest drawdown of bots stocks is 7%. History since May 2013. So this is, let me show you. This is a consistent strategy, but you need to do the math. If with $10,000 you cover the $170 per month. Okay.
Okay. How much do you recommend as kind of a minimum to trade one of your bonds?
Okay. Very good question as well. It depends on the strategy. I guess we can use the thread on the website to be able to answer specific questions regarding which strategy you like and what is the minimum capital. But here you have a good approximation here in this column that says starting unit size. You have a good approximation from the unit size.
Okay. Let me see. Are all of these strategies that you created yourself?
Very good question. Not all of them. Okay. Let's say 50% are strategies that I created myself. I could give you more details on that. And the other 50% is strategies that I trust to be able to manage my capital. Where I can assure you, it's that every single strategy that is listed in this website has my own capital behind and the capital of my clients. But to be 100% transparent, they are not all my strategies.
Okay. Why are you selling these?
Okay. Good question. One, I mean, for me, it's a good way to give back to those that had helped me. And I think that it's a good way to do that. And as well, it creates a diversification for my income as well. My goal in the really long term is to raise capital and to manage a hedge fund. But these days it's not so easy like in 2004, 2005. Right now, I could walk to a couple banks and ask for a portfolio of 10 or 20 million dollars, and there are not many banks that would allow me to trade 20 or 30 million dollars for them. So one of the things I have done for the last few years is to create or to work on RandBots and create the strategies here that I could easily scale around the world.
Okay. Let me. How are commissions handled?
Okay, this is very important. Like, because we can trade in multiple brokers, right? So if we go here, we can see the brokers. I do not control any of the commissions. The commissions will be charged by your broker on your account. So if you have, I don't know, whatever commission that gain capital, you will pay those commissions in gain capital. If you have X amount of dollars per trade in NinjaTrader, you will pay to NinjaTrader. The only fees of RandBots will charge is the monthly cost on the leasing of the strategy. That's it.
Okay. And just so, can you go back to the list of the strategies real quick? You have like, it says like $50,000 starting unit size. I'm assuming that means that's the minimum capital needed in an account to trade that strategy.
Yes, could you repeat? I just want to double check if I understood
the starting unit size at 50,000, 100,000, 20,000. That column is the minimum capital required to trade that strategy.
Yes, that's a good approximation. I mean, what some traders do, and I liked what they do, is they put, let's say, they are in front of the computer, and let's say, for example, this strategy that trades large size, right? For example, this strategy in futures, sometimes it trades 14 contracts, sometimes it trades 12 contracts, sometimes trade just 2 contracts, right? What some traders do is they set this to a minimum and they receive the email, they get autofill with the AutoTrader, and then they receive the email and they trade manually on another account. So of course, to get the signal, you don't need to have, like it shows here, 260,000, right? And you control the risk, because sometimes when it trades, like for example here, it took 14 contracts. So you need a large account for that. But if you are doing just 1 contract per trade, I mean, you don't need 260 to have exposure to the trades that this strategy is executing. When you auto trade, you get both the alert of the trade with the size, as well as the trading, the field on the broker account. So you will see both. Let's say, for example, if you have interactive brokers and one of the system is trading, and you have interactive brokers TWS open, you will see the AutoTrader trading that account. Something important as well is that you need to have one account specifically for a system, for RandBots. One account has to be dedicated to RandBots. You can trade 5 or 6, you can trade as many systems as you want in one account, but that account will be only for RandBots strategies. This is important to understand that.
Okay. Are the results including slippage?
Very good point. Let me show you how the results. Let me see this one. I think this one had slippage in. All of the results are done or constructed by the fields of the people subscribed to the auto trader. So let me show you step by step. The system here took 178 contracts, right, at this price, and then closed the trade at 0.07. So let me show you the fields that the subscriber got. This time, right, all of us, the bot, as well as all the subscribers, got filled at the same price, right? If one of the let me see if there is one field when there is two price. Here's a good example. This subscriber got a different field, right? You see the 0.14. Well, let me make it bigger, if it helps. Oops. It's here, now it's bigger. You see all the subscribers except one got 0.15. However, this one got 0.14. Is this slippage? Yes, I can consider this slippage. All of them, all of the subscribers are in Interactive Brokers. But what we did is we remove all the liquidity from the bid or from the ask, and this person got the next price, right? So we remove all the quantities at 0.15, and this person got the 0.14. What would have happened if only was 3 contracts at 0.15? So this would get 3 contracts at 0.15, and probably all the rest at the auto trader would get 0.14. But in this case, only one got 0.14. With all of these records from the auto trader, we built the performance that you see in the website. Okay.
Okay.
So this performance is built from that.
Okay.
Of course, the people that are manually trading, I mean, it's not. I mean, they will get a different feel. Most, or maybe better, or sometimes better, sometimes worse.
Okay. Perfect. Do the bots both sell and buy futures?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How do you deal with one strategy going long in an instrument and another strategy going short in the same instrument? Don't you need different accounts for each strategy to keep the order types accurate?
That's very good question. This is very important as well. In my case, right, I have one account per strategy. In my case, because I'm running the strategies. But if you were running 2 strategies in the same account, the strategies would know how many contracts are long and how many contracts is short from the other strategy, and will net out.
Okay. You seem to have 2 future systems. The one is a swing. What is the B future strategy? Is it also swing?
Yes, there are multiple. Let me go to the stats, because this is very important and we didn't go through that. This is B futures here and the other swing futures here. And let me open R future as well. We didn't go through this, but this is very important. So if you go to the statistic page, right, you'll see here stats, many stats that I use. So let me go to the swing futures, and this is the stats. and R futures, and this is stats. So for V futures, the average duration of the trade is 2.5 days, right? The average win is 1.9, and the average loss is 1.6, right? This is V futures. Swing futures, the average duration, trade duration, is 3.5 days. The average win is 3.7K, and the average loss is 5.1. This, of course, has a 97% win ratio, but when he loses more than what is winning. Our future, for example, the trades last 37 minutes. Okay? So this is a good way to understand how long the trade duration of each system. Okay? And then you could have here, let me show you B futures. It has done 400 and almost 500 trades and 60% positive. The max drawdown was 18. This is the cash that the strategy used. This is the margin that used, and this is the buying power that the account has. The win-loss ratio, the Sharpe ratio, Sortino, etc., etc. Okay. This is very good questions. Thank you, because I forgot about going into these details, and it's important for selecting systems. As well, if you go to the Discover page, there is here a grid. And the grid is like an Excel-based table. So let's say I want to filter strategies that have a Sharpe over 1.1, right? So I click that, and now it ranks and filters strategies that have a Sharpe over 1.1 this way. Or for example, only strategies that have at least 350 days, you know? So it has only strategies that have at least 350 days. So this is a very good way to filter strategies, you know. And here all stocks, futures, forex options. So you can go here, discover strategy, and then the grid.
Okay. So the strategies reference each other's position for accurate order submission, but manage independently their strategy level position.
Correct.
Okay. How do we calculate overnight margin for futures in deciding how many contracts to trade?
I mean, it does depend on your broker. So I would contact your broker and ask what your margins are, and that way you can have more information. I could help you, but if you're having questions about margin, maybe your experience in futures is not so high. So to auto trade these strategies, is better you manually trade or you follow in a sim account to better understand how margin works. But the person the entity that can give you the details on the margin is your broker.
Okay. And I'm going to make this the last question. Can you give us a short story where your company or system faced a major problem before, i.e. the market funding, and how you overcame that problem?
Yes. Let's go to our futures, right? Our option. This is probably the flagship on the website, is the one that trades the most capital, and the largest institutions are behind this. This strategy was published on January 2013. However, this was one of my first strategies. I started trading this in 2005, 2006. So I lived the financial crisis with this strategy. So that was very challenging. And this strategy, what it does is sell puts naked on the QQQ and the SPY. So this is consistent but risky. I mean, if you read about selling puts, you will see all the risk and understand how the strategy works. So being with this strategy or trading this strategy during 2007 and 2008 was very challenging. The SPY puts finished 2008 positive, and the QQQ puts finished negative. For those years, for 2008, I ended up down like a -5% on the year, but it was a very challenging time because the strategy read volume inflows on international markets and everyone was selling there. So the strategy was looking for volatility spikes, and it was a very challenging time. But I don't have the track record here. So another very challenging time was in these months here, and I'm going to detail what happened here. It was summer 2015, where the markets around the world, starting in Asia, they came down about 10% in 3 or 4 days, right? So it was a very aggressive selling, and this was one of the highest leverage periods for the strategy. As you can see, after that period, I lower the volatility of the system, right? So over here, I was looking to make 100% or so. This was an exceptional year. I mean, it's kind of an outlier, but this was an appropriate year with the risk levels. Now the risk levels are about half of what they used to be in 2015. So it's because of this. The market came down too fast, too quick in all the markets: Japan, China, Europe, and North America. What we did is we trimmed down. You can go through the details here. You can download the CSV file, and you can see how we manage the trades here of what we did. But of course, that showed a drawdown of 41%. You don't see the drawdown here, but it was there from the highest point to the lowest point. Of course, then it was followed by a 43%, but I mean, you need to understand the risk of trading strategies that, I mean, a strategy that sells the puts, you know. So this was very challenging. And at the moment, I have never overwritten the calls on the systems. So if the system go in, I go in. However, I do manage the risk. For example, when there are social problems, like in Spain at the moment, when there are news about nuclear blast or nuclear testings, I mean, I take that into consideration. And even though the systems are automatic, I do not allow them to take so much risk. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. I thank you for the questions for the webinar, and most importantly, thank you for your time. Do you have a slide that has your contact information that you can leave up? Or if not, the contact page on the website might suffice.
Yes, the easiest is on the site. There's 2 ways. Let me do this. Here, Skype. Oops. It's RandBots. Or the email is online. Those are the best way.
Okay, perfect.
Or to use the thread on the
Yes,
on
and I
Futures.io.
posted a link in the chat to the thread. So if you have a question that was not covered in this webinar, please feel free to use the thread, or you can Skype or email Mario directly as well.
Great, Terry. I want to say thank you to everyone, that especially to those 34 attendees that stayed to the last. And I'm a trader. I've been a trader and I will be a trader. So if you want to have a chat and you have questions, I totally understand. This is something new, and I think it will change the way, it have changed the way I trade. And I think it can help you diversify your trading with the strategies that I know that have been successful. So thank you so much again for attending, and thank you to Futures.io for hosting the webinar.
Absolutely, thank you. Have a good evening.